You are not going to believe what happened. Seriously, you have to lean in for this one because it's absolutely wild. Like the kind of story that makes your jaw drop and you just stare, blinking, trying to process it all. I'm still kind of processing it, to be honest. I mean, looking back, I guess I probably should have seen some of this coming. But then again, who could have predicted this? Nobody, that's who. So, my name is Savannah. I'm 28, and my life has been complicated. Especially when it comes to my dad, Robert. And his new wife. Ugh, just saying, new wife, makes my stomach turn. Her name is Brenda, and she's like 35. My stepmom. Doesn't that just sound awful? My dad married her 2 years ago, barely 3 years after my mom passed away. It was way too fast, if you asked me. Way too fast. Brenda is one of those women who acts all sweet and innocent in front of people, but when it's just us, she's a totally different person. Like a total bitch. She'd smile and pretend to be all supportive, asking me about my job, which is, you know, at the office, doing office stuff, and my life. But then later, if it was just me and Dad, she'd make little comments. Oh, Savannah, you're still working at that place? Didn't you say you wanted to do something else? Or, your dad works so hard to give you everything, Savannah. You should really appreciate it. Always these passive-aggressive little digs, disguised as jokes, or concern. I swear, she was a gaslighting expert, making me question my own perceptions and memory. Like I was being ungrateful. Me. Who's been through so much? My dad, bless his heart, is what I'd call an old-school provider. He's always been the breadwinner, very traditional, and sometimes, well, a little stubborn. He tries to avoid conflict, which is how Brenda got away with so much. He just wanted everyone to get along, and Brenda knew exactly how to play him. She'd bat her eyelashes and act all helpless, and he'd just melt. It was sickening. We lived in separate places, thankfully. I had my own apartment, which was a nice setup. I paid my own rent and bills, had my own car. But my dad always helped out financially, you know. Like if I needed a new outfit, or my car needed a repair, he'd just slip me some cash. He knew I deserved it. Brenda, though, she always tried to butt in. Robert, Savannah needs to learn to be more independent, she'd say, even though she barely worked. She had some vague, consulting gig she did from home. She expected my dad to cover her expenses while keeping her own money separate. The double standards were mind-blowing. I swear, from day one, she was jealous of my relationship with my dad. Like obsessed. She'd always question my friendships, asking, "Who are you out with? Are they a good influence?" But then she'd be off doing her own thing, and if I ever asked her where she was, she'd get all defensive. Seriously. The hypocrisy was unreal. One time, I was out with my friend Chloe. You know Chloe, the one with the bright red hair? Anyway, we were just chilling, and I posted a picture of us on Facebook, like, "Girls' night out. #blessed #besties. Just a normal post. But then Brenda called me, all sweet and concerned. "Savannah, who were those people you were with? Are you sure they're good for you? You know your dad worries." It was jealousy, wrapped up as concern. She just wanted to control everything. And she always used my dad as a shield, like, "Your dad thinks," when it was clearly her thinking it. And then she got pregnant. Can you believe it? Just when I thought things couldn't get worse. She announced it at a family dinner, all dramatic, holding her stomach. My dad was over the moon, of course. Me? I just smiled and clapped, like everyone else. But inside I was screaming. Another one of her ways to get attention, I swear. She wanted to be the center of everything. And a baby? That just meant more attention for her, and less for me. The whole pregnancy was just a show. She complained about everything. Morning sickness, being tired, swollen ankles. Like, hello, it's a pregnancy, not a death sentence. And she constantly posted about it on Facebook, every little detail. Baby bump growing. So excited. Daddy's little helper kicking. Ugh. Validation seeking much? She was ignoring all the real problems, like how she was slowly turning my dad against me. She started making my dad believe all these things about me. Like I was irresponsible, or not trying hard enough at my job. She'd bring up old mistakes I'd made, things that had nothing to do with anything, and just twist them. Selective memory, that's what she had. She remembered every little thing I did wrong, but conveniently forgot all her own little manipulations. Then came the baby shower. Of course, she wanted a huge one. All her friends, all of my dad's family. It was at their big house, which, by the way, my dad bought after he married her. She made sure everyone knew it was her house. The whole thing was just over the top, with balloons and ribbons and a ridiculous cake shaped like a baby carriage. It was like a giant advertisement for how perfect her life was. I was there, of course, because my dad made me promise to be. I was trying to be supportive, outwardly at least. I even bought a decent gift, a cute little onesie set. But inside I was simmering. She kept making little comments. Oh, Savannah, you look a little tired. Long night? Just a subtle dig, disguised as concern. She knew I liked to go out sometimes. And she'd act all sweet in front of everyone, but then she'd pull me aside and say, You know, your dad is worried about you. You really should settle down. It was always this hot and cold behavior. One minute she was your best friend, the next she was judging you. At one point I was in the kitchen, trying to get a drink, and she waddled in. Savannah, she said, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. Could you help me with something? I need to get these decorations from the upstairs landing. It was a whole bunch of heavy boxes, which she totally could have asked someone else to do. Or just waited for my dad. But no, she wanted me to do it. It was like she was trying to prove how much I was willing to do for her, how helpful I was. Sure, Brenda, I said, putting on my best fake smile. My stomach was churning. I followed her up the stairs. The house had this grand staircase, wide and carpeted. As we got to the top, she pointed to some boxes right near the edge of the landing. Those ones over there, she said, practically right at the top step. I bent down to grab one of the boxes, and that's when it happened. She was standing right behind me, and I felt a little bump. Not a push, not a shove, just a bump. My elbow might have grazed her as I adjusted to lift the box. It was nothing. But then, she let out this piercing scream. A blood-curdling scream. And she just went down. Not like she fell, but more like she sat down, and then kind of slid, dramatically, down a few steps. My heart jumped into my throat. Panic thoughts flooded my head. Holy shit, what just happened? Did I actually push her? No. I barely touched her. Everyone rushed over. My dad, his face pale, rushed up the stairs. Brenda! What happened? And she just looked up at him, tears streaming down her face, her hand on her stomach. Savannah, she pushed me. My jaw dropped. What? No. I did not. I barely even touched you. You fell. But it was too late. Her eyes, filled with fake tears, just looked at my dad, and then back at me. And then she started this whole emotional manipulation routine. Oh, my baby! My poor baby! She sobbed, clutching her stomach. Savannah, why would you do this? My dad just stared at me, his face blank. The color drained from his face. Savannah, what did you do? He asked, his voice low and horrified. I didn't do anything, I yelled, my own panic turning to anger. She fell. She probably tripped. She's just being dramatic. It's not that serious. I was gaslighting him, trying to make him question what he thought he saw, trying to make him believe her story. It's what she always did to me. But no one was listening. All these women, Brenda's friends, were looking at me like I was some kind of monster. Whispering. Judging. It was like the whole room turned against me in a split second. My own family, my dad's sisters, my cousins, They were all looking at me with shock and horror. My dad helped Brenda up, and she was still sobbing. I just wanted her to help me, and she just pushed me. Her voice was a pathetic whisper, designed to pull at everyone's heartstrings. She weaponized her vulnerability, using her pregnancy to shut down any argument I could make. "She's lying!" I screamed. "She's a liar! She's always been jealous of me. She just wants to ruin my life." But my dad just shook his head, his face a mask of disappointment. "Savannah, how could you?" And that was it. My family, was completely turned against me. They all believed Brenda. My dad rushed her to the hospital, of course, just to be safe. And I was left there, standing alone in the middle of a ruined baby shower, with everyone staring at me like I was some kind of villain. The next few weeks were a nightmare. My dad stopped returning my calls. My aunts and uncles, who used to be so close, started ignoring my texts. My cousins blocked me on social media. My entire family believed Brenda's version of events. She changed the narrative of past events, making me sound like a monster all along. She told them I was always jealous of her, that I hated her, that I'd always been a problem. She played the victim perfectly. She even spread rumors that I had always been trouble, that I was a reformed wild child who was now overcorrecting and still insecure. It was a complete social collapse. My reputation was destroyed. I tried to explain, to tell my side of the story, but no one would listen. They just kept saying, "Savannah, you need to take responsibility for your actions." But what actions? I didn't do anything. It was her fault for being so clumsy. Or for making it up. I was always the one who was blamed for everything. My job started getting really weird too. Word somehow got around, probably from some of Brenda's friends who were connected. My boss started giving me the cold shoulder. People at work looked at me funny. I even heard whispers. "Did you hear about Savannah? Apparently, she pushed her pregnant stepmom down the stairs." My professional life started to crumble. I was getting less work, less trust. It was like my career was imploding, all because of her. And then, the ultimate isolation. Brenda had her baby. A healthy baby boy. And my dad, surrounded by his new family, was happier than I'd ever seen him. He never called me. He never visited. It was like I was dead to him. Everything I thought I had, my place in my family, my connection to my dad, was gone. Brenda achieved her selfish goals, a perfect family, a loving husband, and no me, and I was left completely alone. I tried to reach out to my dad one last time. I sent him a long text, begging him to believe me, telling him how much I missed him. He just replied with one line. "Brenda is my family now, Savannah. I can't have someone like you in my life who would hurt her and my child." It was a painful self-awareness moment, but not in the way they wanted. I didn't regret what I did, because I didn't do anything. I just regretted how it all turned out. I saw what Brenda had done, how she had manipulated everyone, how she had destroyed my life. And I realized she had won. But it wasn't because I was in the wrong. It was because she was just better at the game. Now I just try to move on. My old friends eventually drifted away. My job is a mess. I rarely talk to anyone. I'm bitter, I'm spiteful. But it's not my fault. It's their fault for believing her. It's her fault for lying. And my dad's fault for being so easily manipulated. I don't care about them anymore. They made their choice. They chose Brenda over me. So, whatever. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I always am.